This is the story of Christmas. The same story of Christmas that's been told for 2,000 years. But after all, if you're still a kid like me, you never grow tired of hearing it again and again. So, hey, wait a minute. Judy,
Yes, Uncle Gene?
Jimmy.
I'm right here, Uncle Gene.
Well, I think you'll be able to hear much better if you climb up here on my lap. So, what do you say, huh? Yeah, that's it. Come right on up. Now then, if you're all set, why, here we go. Once upon a time, many, many years ago, there lived a man named Joseph and his wife, whose name was Mary. And they lived in the city of Galilee.
Is that over near Crystal Rock, Uncle Gene?
No, Jimmy. I'm afraid it's a little farther away than Crystal Rock. It's clear over on the other side of the world.
Gosh, that's a long way, isn't it? Even further than Granny's house in Chicago.
Yeah, sure is, honey. Much farther than that. Anyway, one day, Mary and Joseph decided to take a trip, just like you two do in the summer with your Uncle Smokey.
Were they going fishing like me and Judy and Uncle Smokey?
No, son. They were going away for a different reason. They were going into the city to pay their taxes.
What are taxes, Uncle Gene?
Well, Judy taxes her money that grown-up folk pay to Uncle Sam. Only in those days, they paid their money to a king instead.
What does Uncle Sam do with the money?
Oh, he uses it for a lot of things, honey, like building parks and bridges and roads and to pay people like Miss Simpkins, the teacher down at the school.
Oh, does that cost more than 50 cents, Uncle Gene?
I should say it does, son. Quite a bit more than 50 cents.
Well, what happened to Mr. Joseph and Miss Mary?
Well, Judy, they packed all their belongings on their donkey and started off. You see, in those days, people didn't have automobiles.
Did the donkey look like Champion, Uncle Gene?
Why, yeah, Jimmy, I guess he did, except that, well, maybe his ears were a little longer and his legs a little shorter.
Would he go as fast as Champion?
Oh, I doubt that. You see, he was pretty well loaded down with bundles. Anyway, donkeys aren't meant to go as fast as horses. That's why it took Mary and Joseph several days to make their trip. But then finally one night in the distance, they saw the city of Bethlehem. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still receive thee light. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Well, kids, Mary and Joseph were tired when they got to Bethlehem, so they went to the inn to get a room. But there were no rooms.
I bet if we'd lived over there, they could have stayed with us, couldn't they, Uncle Gene?
Oh, you bet they could, Jimmy.
And they could have put their donkey in our barn, too.
They sure could. But what do you think happened?
Why?
Well, just a few nights later, Mary and Joseph became the mother and daddy of a little baby boy. But since they had no place to stay, their little boy was born in a manger.
What's a manger, Uncle Gene?
Well, honey, a manger is, well, it's sort of like a trough in a barn. Only this manger was in a cave.
Did it have a hayloft and everything?
Oh, I'm afraid this one didn't, Jimmy.
How did Miss Mary and Mr. Joseph keep their little baby warm, Uncle Gene?
Oh, they just bundled him all up in blankets, Judy. And, of course, his mother stayed close to him, too. But then that first night, a very strange and wonderful thing happened.
What?
Well, at the same time out in the fields, there were lots of shepherds guarding their sheep.
What was the wonderful thing that happened, Uncle Gene?
Well, Judy, while the shepherds were watching their sheep, they looked up at the sky, and there before their very eyes, the sky seemed to get brighter and brighter. And the shepherds were afraid.
Did they think it was going to storm, Uncle Gene?
Well, They didn't know what to think, Jimmy.
What did they do?
Well, you see, honey, that's when the wonderful thing happened. An angel appeared before him and spoke to him.
What's an angel, Uncle Gene?
Well, Jimmy, let's see. Remember when you used to get dirty in that mud hole in back of your house?
Yes.
And then one day you didn't do it anymore?
Uh-huh.
Well, an angel told you not to.
Well, is an angel good all the time?
Oh, I should say so.
Can anybody hear an angel, Uncle Gene?
They sure can, Judy. All you have to do is listen.
Well, what did the angel say to the shepherds?
Well, the angel told them not to be afraid, Jimmy. That the bright light they saw in the sky meant that a new baby boy had just been born in the city of Bethlehem. A child who had come to tell them all how to live in peace with each other. A baby boy named Jesus.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King.
And so the shepherds left their sheep and hurried to the manger in the city of Bethlehem to see the new baby Jesus the angel had told them about.
Was the little baby asleep when they got there?
Well, I guess he was, honey. Little babies spend most of their time sleeping.
What did you say his name was, Uncle Gene?
Jesus.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Oh, I guess almost everybody's heard of him, son. You see, he was a pretty special baby. In fact, he was so special that lots of folks, even kings, brought him presents.
We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star.
But it seems in that day there lived in the land of Judea a king named Herod, who was a bad and jealous king.
Why was he bad, Uncle Gene?
Oh, I really don't know, Judy. I guess he was like a lot of people in the world today. He just didn't know that he could become happier himself by making other folk happy. So he was mean and cruel.
Did he hurt Miss Mary and Mr. Joseph
Well-
and the baby Jesus?
He might have, honey. Oh, that is, if it hadn't been for the angel.
You mean the same angel who talked to the shepherds out in the fields?
That's right. That very same angel came and talked to Joseph one night while he was sleeping.
But Uncle Gene, how could Mr. Joseph hear what the angel was saying if he was asleep?
Well, he heard him in a dream, son.
You mean dreams like I have of ponies and carts and cowboys and bucking horses?
Well, maybe something like that. Only this dream was a little different. You see, in this dream, the angel told Joseph things about the little baby Jesus.
What did the angel tell Mr. Joseph?
Well, Judy, the angel told him to take Mary and the little baby Jesus and go to Egypt.
Why?
Well, because the angel said if they didn't, King Herod would come and hurt their baby.
Didn't King Herod like the baby Jesus?
Well, no, Jimmy, I'm afraid he didn't. You see, he too had heard about the baby Jesus. And Herod was afraid that someday that little baby would grow up and become king instead of him.
Gosh, Uncle Gene, what did Mr. Joseph do?
Well, honey, that very same night, Joseph took Mary and the little baby Jesus and went away to Egypt, just as the angel had told him to do.
What happened to the baby Jesus after that, Uncle Gene?
Well, lots of things have happened to him, Jimmy. And as you grow older, both you and Judy will find out more and more about him. But I can tell you this. A lot of people in the world today have forgotten all about him. And because they have, a lot of other folk aren't very happy. You know, kids, this old world of ours is a couple of thousand years older. And it's grown a little since way back when this story took place. The great and near great men have left their mark on history's pages. Kings, dictators, emperors, and presidents. But because of the good they brought into the world, and others because of the sorrow that they left behind. Well, most of them are gone and forgotten now. But that little baby who was born in a manger almost 2,000 years ago will live forever in the minds and the hearts of millions of people who still believe in things like love, hope, understanding, and peace.
Look, Gene, they're both asleep.
Yeah, they sure are, Johnny. Guess we better put them to bed. Here, you hold Judy while I get up for Jimmy.
Okay. I got her.
Thanks. Okay, let's go.
Golly, I wonder what they're dreaming about.
Oh, I don't know. Probably the same things you dreamed about when you were a kid.
That's so long ago I wouldn't remember. You want me to put Judy in the big bed?
Yeah, Johnny, please.
Right.
Okay, in you go, little fella. There. Now I'll just pull this cover over you like this. Flip that light, will you, Johnny?
Yeah, I got it.
Well, little curly heads, sleep in peace and dream of electric trains, of a cowboy riding a bucking horse, or 1,000 candy canes, of a Christmas tree all tinseled, of a sleigh that flies through space, of the stocking you hung on the mantle that you borrowed from your Auntie Grace. For yours are the dreams of the very young, the most precious dreams on earth. Don't ever lose them. They're yours by right of birth. Don't let them ever tarnish with rust or hate or greed, but keep them bright and shining. And now what I say, pay heed. Within you two lies the hope of the world, the faith of all mankind. May you bring it ever peace forever. May your joys your people find. And so for you, with all my heart, I pray your dreams come true. I know you haven't heard a word I've said, but I bet my life on you. Good night, Jimmy, Judy. Merry Christmas.